Hi, I'm Justin.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to the Door Store Studio. Today we're going to take you through how to install an exterior door system, starting with removing your old door.
We recommend having at least one other person to help you, depending on how heavy your door is.
It's a good thing I'm here.
It is a good thing. Let's start by removing the old door.
Now, for demonstration purposes, we've built a faux wall with casters to be able to show you both sides of the project, exterior and interior.
Let's go ahead and rotate this wall around,
Okay.
Jim.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is remove the trim from the interior side of the door. And then we're going to go ahead and remove any screws or nails attaching the door frame to the studs.
All right, now we're going to take out the final screw that's holding the door in place. Close the door, and with the help of another person, you're going to pull the door away from the exterior of the house. Keep in mind you may have to break the caulk seal between the frame and the house first. All right, you ready?
Yes.
That's pretty smooth.
Now that the door is removed, clean the area around the rough opening, including any excess caulking that may have been left behind. How's it looking, Jen?
It's looking really clean. Okay, now we'll measure to make sure that the rough opening in your wall is 2.5 inches wider and 2 inches taller than the new door, and that the wall is both plumb and square. I'm gonna get our level.
Measurements are right on.
All right.
Thank you.
Make sure, check for plumb.
Right where we want it to be.
Excellent.
Now that we have our new door, you can either lay the door on the ground or use sawhorses.
We'll be using sawhorses today so you guys can see it better.
Now that we have our new door, start by removing any shipping nails or packaging from the door.
All right, I'm gonna pull this plug quick. Now you want to caulk the floor of the opening where the sill will sit. Use 3 beads of caulk here to ensure a weatherproof seal. The next step is to caulk the bottom of the sill as well as the highest part of the back side of the brick mold. All right, with the help of another person, set the door into the rough opening, then tip it back into place. We're gonna pick this up. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's get it in there. All right.
Great.
Okay, open the door and check the hinge side with a 6-foot level to make sure it's plumb.
Let's open it up.
Yeah. How's that
The
look?
door is plumb.
The next step takes place inside, so let's turn this thing around.
Sounds good.
Okay, with the door closed, place shims between the door unit and the stud at the top hinge of the door. Open the door and remove the center screw from the top hinge and replace it with a 2.5-inch screw. Make sure you drive it through those shims. That secures the door to the wall. All right.
Thank you.
You want to check the door again to make sure it's plumb.
Looks great.
Wonderful. Close the door and insert shims between the frame and the stud at the middle and bottom hinges. Then place shims in the same 3 places, top, middle, and bottom, on the other side of the door. Check to make sure that the top and strike side of the door have an 1/8-inch gap.
1/8 inch. Now go ahead and use your 6-foot level to make sure the hinge side of the frame is still plumb. If it's not, adjust the frame and the shims until it is. How you looking, Jen?
It's looking perfectly plumb.
Wonderful.
Next, we'll remove the center screws from the middle and bottom hinges and replace them with the longer 2.5-inch screws. Remove a second screw from the top hinge and replace it with another 2.5-inch screw.
Great. Now we need to make sure the opposite side of the door is plumb.
Yeah, looks nice and plumb.
Great.
All right, close the door from the inside and check to make sure there's still an even gap between the frame and the door. How's it looking, Justin?
It looks really consistent. 1/8 of an inch.
Next, we're going to secure the lock side frame to the stud. So to conceal the screw, you're going to pull back that weather stripping at the top shim and insert a 2.5-inch screw through the shims and into the stud. Great, and you'll repeat that process in the middle and bottom shim locations.
If your new door has an adjustable sill plate, you want to use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to adjust the set screws at the top of the sill crown.
All right.
Looks good, great. Make sure you have equal clearance between the sill and the bottom of the door across the whole thing.
It looks good, it looks nice and even.
Great.
It's time to insulate. You'll want to use gloves when handling insulation. Insulate around the frame opening with fiberglass insulation. We never use expanding foam to insulate the door as it can easily expand too far and shift the door system out of alignment.
Wonderful. Okay. We're getting pretty close to finishing up inside. Now let's go outside to apply caulking to create a weather-tight seal between the door frame and your house.
Run a thin bead of caulk between the brick mold and the exterior wall on the hinge side of the door. Then do the top, then down the lock side of the door as well. After that, caulk between the brick mold and the frame, starting with the hinge side, then doing the top, then the lock side. Looks great. For the next step, we'll open the door and caulk where the frame and the sill meet on both sides.
Okay.
Like that. Pull the bottom few inches of the weather strip out of the groove and place a small spot of caulk on the sill before replacing the weather strip. Last, caulk between the sill and the sill plate.
Okay.
All right. Let's spin this thing around and finish up the inside.
Now we're going to use our utility knife to score the shims and then break each one off so they don't protrude past the door frame.
All right. Now all we have to do is install our trim and our lock set, and we're done. We'll be right back.
Well, there you go. Those are the steps to replace an exterior door.
If you have more questions, check out our video library, send us an email, or chat with us live, and we'll do what we can to help.
Thanks for joining us in the Door Store studio today. I hope we've helped make your door installing experience just a little bit easier.
We'll see you next time.